Hi there. Originally I just planned to do a basic update, but I wanted to try something a little bit different this time. So it's a little segment I'm calling Original versus Remake. I'm going to talk about, obviously, original films and just put them up against the remakes. Oh, by the way, new t-shirt from my dad, and it's a Vincent Price movie. Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, Deborah Paget, and Basil Rathbone. So come on, you guys guess which one that is, and write it in the comments. Anyway, let's get right to it. I'm going to talk about the first one, and that would be Nightmare on Elm Street versus A Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, they're both a Nightmare on Elm Street, but the original one was directed by Wes Craven, starred Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp, John Saxon, Ronnie Blakely, and was the linchpin for Johnny Depp. It was creepy. It kind of got into the whole aspect of the whole Christian Catholicism. Everybody keeps what's inside their in their bedrooms, inside their bedrooms, and it scared me. Now the remake starred well, I don't remember. I know that the guy that played Freddy Krueger, I know who that is, and I thought he did a good job for what he did do, Jackie Earle Haley. But as for the other cast members, I actually got to look. Katie Cassidy, who I really like, actually was in this, and unfortunately not enough. She's the one that is offed. Kyle Gallner, who did his best work in Ron Kamara's ending season 2, if you've seen it. Wow. And Rooney Mara, who may be a really great actress, but she really doesn't come through in this film. Nightmare on Elm Street isn't a good film. It's just it's not a bad film. It's a bland film. And for a movie that has a killer that haunts you in your dreams, bland and mundane is something that you really, really don't want. Though, this being said, it's not horrible. The DVD itself is particularly interesting. Watch it with the Malcolm movie mode, because that's the most interesting way to watch it. Because watching it on its own is boring as hell. Just my personal opinion. But no, this was not one of my favorite remakes, not by far. Some of these here I don't have the box. They get basically because I'm just too lazy to go get them. But I will talk about them. Next is My Bloody Valentine 3. This is, of course, the 3D one done by written by Todd Farmer. Jamie King, one of my favorites, who did a remake that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Keir Smith, Jensen Ackles, and of course my favorite guy in this is his name is escaping me. Played the sheriff, and was also in Halloween 3 and The Creeps. So I remember the actor filmography, but I can't remember his name quite now. But he's a great actor anyway. Anyway, My Bloody Valentine, the original, was extremely creepy. It was low budget, and it was done in Nova Scotia, a place pretty close to me, and I've been there quite a bit. And Moosehead beer was like a big part of My Bloody Valentine, the original. It was done in the early 80s, and if you go back and watch that movie, Moosehead beer is everywhere. When they go to the bar, everybody is drinking Moosehead beer. It's like water there. When they're making the place ready for the dance, they're carrying over their stuff in a Moosehead beer cases. Moosehead beer had to have been the sponsor for this film somehow, and it was a really good film. I mean, it surprised me in so many ways. The actors were not anybody that was known at the time, really. Don Frank was known in Canada, played the sheriff, and that was probably the most famous actor in the film. But it was really good. And this one here My Bloody Valentine actually is fun. It's not as good as the original film, no, not by far, but it had some nice twists. The cinematography in this film is actually pretty damn good, and the 3D is definitely one of the better 3D horror films that I've seen. It did it pretty well, and I gotta say, I'm a fan. Right on that one, we'll go right into Piranha. Piranha, the original one, is fun. It's cheesy as hell. It's Roger Corman. It's cheap as dirt, but there's something about it that makes you want to watch it. And Piranha, the remake in 3D, is fun. It's exactly what it should be. And for that reason, the Piranha and Piranha remake are both thumbs up for me. Just wanted to get that one out of the way because that's not a biggie one here. But here's one that is, and here's one that is controversial. Scarface. You ever watch Cribs? Everybody has, every one of them, if they're a basketball player or a star or a star, it doesn't matter. Scarface is somewhere in their collection. And Scarface with Al Pacino is a great film. But for me, honestly, my little friend is the original with Paul Muni as Scarface, and with Boris Karloff actually had a small role. Well, not actually a small role, he had a pretty important role in the film. And as much as I love Scarface, and it is a seminal film of the 80s genre, of the action gangster set, Paul Muni's Scarface just rings more true to me, probably because I'm a big gangster fan. If you look at my collection, there's a lot of film noir, there's a lot of gangster stuff. You're going to see a lot of pre-codes. And although both are great films, the Paul Muni one is my personal favorite. This one is going to be really, really easy. Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes for me is one of the great science fiction movies of all time. My better half doesn't like it. And she lives close to France and French. But still, one of the greatest films, science fiction films, and the effects even today are incredible. The way the apes are done, how they talk, it does not look like a mask in the original film. It looks very realistic, and luckily they actually look different. They're going on to the remake. They made them look just like actual apes. And it doesn't work. The whole film doesn't work. Charlton Heston, Marky Mark, no contest. Roddy McDowell, whoever the hell's in the new one, the guy from Lord of the Rings, really? No. The ending for the new one versus the ending of this one. Look, this is a classic film. It's had 5 sequels. The remake was so bad, they immediately went out, they waited a few years, and then they went out and redid it again and rebooted the series with James Franco, which was actually pretty good. But you can't beat the original Planet of the Apes. None of the other sequels can beat the original Planet of the Apes, but if you want to go and watch one of the sequels from the original series, there's 5 movies, go right to the 3rd one. Roddy McDowell, Kim Hunter, great film. Never say never again. Actually, a lot of people don't know that this is a remake, but it is. It's Thunderball. Thunderball was written in co-production with Ian Fleming, who wrote it with another, with somebody else, and that's why later on we couldn't see Spectre or Blofeld, all those used in the films, because there was litigations, and they lost the rights. The people that did the films lost the rights to Thunderball, and so it came up in the 80s that Roger Moore was making James Bond films and was about to come out with a new movie called Octopussy, and another company decided that they wanted to do their James Bond films, so they got Sean Connery, the original James Bond, to come in and remake the film that they did have the rights for, and that was Thunderball, and it became Never Say Never Again. Never Say Never Again is a very unique James Bond film that is very different. A lot of the stuff that you would regularly see, the openings and the music, the style, the back actors, just couldn't be used in this film. Though there are some decent actors in it. Actually, Rowan Atkinson has a cute little role, but Thunderball, the original, is not one of my favorite James Bond films. It never has been, but I did like, for historic sake alone, Never Say Never Again, and Kim Basinger is this one at probably her most beautiful with Barbara Carrera. We got Max von Sydow in this one as well, and I gotta say, Edward Fox did not make a bad M. Not the classic M that we're used to, but I'm gonna go with Never Say Never Again for that one, and this is the first installment in Originals versus Remakes. I'll probably do some more. Hopefully you like them, and hope you enjoyed the new shirt and try and guess what the film is, because it's in foreign. Thanks a lot. It's time for tea.